So in today's video, we're going to finish up the brake work finally on the 55 Willys Jeep. Well, other than dirty, they don't appear that they were leaking, which is really quite surprising. I knew it was coming. Okay, got the 3-stone hone ready to go here on the cordless drill. Hit it with just a little bit of silicone. Yeah, I took that right out. I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm going to clean everything up and then start the reassembly on this one. Okay, got these all cleaned up, so we're ready to do the reassembly. So I'm going to put the spring in first, add the cups, okay. And we just got to put our dust boots back on and then get the shoes back in. A little comparison to the what was left of the old pads compared to the new pads. Not too much left of that. So I put my lower spring in first. And this is the tool that I wanted to grab. Put this back on. A lot of times what I like to do is this has that slot. I like to line the slot up with that so it makes it a lot easier to see where I need to be. Because once you have that this direction, you can't see where that slot is. Also, I like to adjust my pin so that it's straight up and down. Spring into place. If all goes well, we'll put that right together. Alright, I was able to get this tool in here on this side, and I held the brake shoe in place by just using the old rubber dust boots that came out, because every time I kept trying to do that, it kept falling over. And you just got to stretch that, get that one in there, and this side will be done. Now you can see the adjusters. So this is what you're supposed to, this is on a cam. So you're going to turn that so it forces the shoe to come out. And that's going to set it so that it's just about touching the drum. And that's what we're going to end up having to do. So I got to pull that one in just a little bit here and then start playing with the drum. I wound up pulling the bolts out. I wanted to clean the threads. And I'm going to use some anti-seize. Also, make sure you're wearing rubber gloves when you're using the anti-seize. Otherwise, you'll end up looking like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. You will turn silver from this stuff. I really should have the socket that goes on this to tighten these nuts down properly. So I don't have a socket to fit this, and the socket for it isn't really that expensive. I just looked them up online. They're under $10. But not happy that I can't get a pair of pliers in there or anything else to properly tighten that up. I just went and got some scrap metal off my pile and just made this little tool so that way that just fits in there, and I should be able to tighten that nut up. Wheel cylinder that I pulled off, as you can see, is pretty bad shape. Has that chunk taken out of it, and inside of it, it's got some pretty deep pits. I don't know if you probably can't see that. So here it is a day later, and ordered from Rock Auto. And I bought 2 brand new ones, so I'm going to replace both of them on the rear. I originally had bought rebuild kits, but I'm just going to assume that the other side's probably going to be just as bad. So I just went ahead and ordered 2 brand new ones. I usually like trying to reuse the older stuff and putting new pieces in, because I'm going to assume this is probably an American-made piece, whereas this one here is labeled as China. So I'm not real big on using Chinese parts on my restoration work, but I need it. I want to get this thing going again, so this is what's going to go in there. On to the last wheel cylinder to rebuild, and the reason I've saved this one for last, as you can see, previous owner left me 3 rounded off lug nuts, and apparently what they were attempting to do was to take it off and not realizing these are left-handed threads, so of course they just rounded the nuts off. smoking hot. It's too far rounded off, so I'm going to use my nut splitter on it. Of course, I can only get part of the nut with this. Put a nice indentation in it, so keep working at it with a different chisel. So that was the last wheel cylinder. So now all the brakes are done, all new shoes in place, all the hydraulic lines have been replaced, rubber hoses have been replaced, everything is in place. The only thing that's left is we need to bleed the system and hopefully no leaks. So here's the master cylinder on this Jeep, and since I did all the body work and replaced all the floor supports, you can see I have a yellow line painted on here. That's the floor support. I'm going to actually have to relief cut that to allow that cap to be removed. So that's the first operation I'm going to have to do to bleed these brakes. And that's why I don't like master cylinders below the floor. At least I don't have fresh paint on that. Okay, go ahead and pump it up. Hold. Got a lot out of that one. Whew. All right, go ahead and start pumping it up. Okay, hold. All right. How's that pedal feel? Does it feel like you're getting a little pressure to it?
Yeah.
Good. sooner than I got that little bit of testing done, the weather's changed and now it's raining again. So that's going to do about for this video, but I can wipe that one off the list. So I have to decide what I want to do for our next video. I think I'm going to start on doing the wiring, so that way I can get all the lights and taillights and everything working, and maybe actually take it out on the road. Actually, before I do that, I should probably put tires and rims on it, because what's on there are pretty bad. So if you want to see all that, make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.